Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu, bkhair agale, ni hao, chunashume, washmale, ohai gunzaimus, guten morgen, ola, boyor, privyet, kaifa hal, halishuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabia, bhalli ke rahe, hosh galdin, and a very happy Eid Mubarak to each and every individual who's actually tuned into PT World, whether you are tuned in or whether you're not. Ladies and gentlemen, we still want to wish you, and we kind of need to congratulate you on this very festive occasion of ours, which we call Eid al-Fitr. We hope that the first 2 days were fantastic with us, ladies and gentlemen. My very amazing colleague, Ms. Hajra Satti, and I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and you're definitely watching World this morning's special Eid transmission as well. Hello, Hajra. How are you? How's your Eid so far?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for asking. I'm good. And before, telling about the Eid, I wanted to ask you, how is it possible that you have, so much energy level? Do you drink energy drinks for that matter?
No, I don't. And I do not even endorse energy drinks, even though that just yesterday, I actually kind of received an Eid gift from one of the energy brands over here in Pakistan, who actually deal with energy drinks as well. But ladies and gentlemen, it's totally up to you whether you want to drink it or not. But for me, since you have asked me this question as well, so what I do is just before the transmission, before the show, I just stay really quiet, and you know that. I'll just go sit on my seat and just not talk to anyone, and then I kind of preserve my energy for the very moment when the camera turns on. So as soon as there's a red light on the camera, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's unleash all the energy. What about you? How do you feel? Sitting right next to me, do you think that it's overwhelming? Do you think it's overshadowing, something of that sort?
No. So you have a very, smiley face, and you are constantly radiating that smile and energy. And so, I'll tell you what, so we are from a Pakistani culture, and I told you that, our cultural value dignifies the reservedness a lot, right? So when I did my, first program with you, you were constantly, smiling and little bit, murmured laughters and stuff like that. And I said, oh my God, am I doing something wrong or something like that?
And thank you very much for saying that, because...
But then I came to know that it's your nature, this is how you are.
Thank God, because, I have actually come across this question quite a lot of times, even with Rashid Bhai, Shoaib Akhtar, while Shiza was here, and they would always be like, is there something wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm just smiling, just because you really need to smile. While you're in front of television, you're waking people up, you really certainly need this energy. So we hope that, ladies and gentlemen, this energy is actually going to kind of have an impact on you, because we believe that it's contagious. So wherever we are going outside of Pakistan, we go out in 46 different countries. So may you be Muslim or not, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually welcoming each and every one of you with arms wide open. So Eid Mubarak, aao gale lago. I think that's fantastic. But we're very lucky that we've been joined by some fantastic, amazing guests over here who have taken out time. And even for the last 2 days, there have been people who've been taking out time to spend Eid with us as well. So without any further ado, I think it's about time that we introduce them, and then we kind of wish them Eid Mubarak as well. But my producer over here has to say something. Yeah, what do you want to say, bro? All right, moving on.
So, okay, I think that, Shahzad, that every time, there is Eid, and especially for the last, a couple of years, the Eid has been, very changed in that sense that we have the pandemic, and then, the governments around the world, they were, proposing that, we should change our habits of meeting and greeting, because, that's contagious, and pandemic is contagious. And we thank Allah that, we are done with that stage, right? But having said so, I do feel that, we need to invest in a, good global health security infrastructure, and that is the best insurance against these pandemic, right?
Exactly. And in addition to that, thank you very much for raising that point. And it's because of the fact that, imagine that, for the last 2 years, I was not even able to hug my father. And that's something, obviously,
living in the same room?
Because he's an elderly person, and and I was going out and I was working, so I was like, I don't know whether, God forbid, I hope that I'm not going to transmit any sort of virus or infection as well.
But I really love the fact that, a simple element of simplicity returned to our lives, in the last couple of years. But I think we are now going back to the new normal, or the normal, which is already prevalent there, which is very worldly and,
Thank you very much for saying that, because in addition to that, I'm going to continue what I was saying, and it's because of the fact that even, on our daily routines, what I used to do was that, you know, we were always those shy kids who
Right.
would never walk up to their mother or father and be like, oh, you know, well, we
Right.
love you, or
Right.
hug. So, you know, I was always shy. So, you know, I would always look forward to Choti Eid and Badi Eid so that I could
Oh.
actually go and hug my father, you know, and
That's interesting.
that's something which I don't know why is it there, but it has been there, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
and I've tried overcoming it as well. So with Maji, I think I'm more flexible now.
Right.
But with Abu, we certainly
I think
need to
that's
kind of
the-
see where we can play and where we cannot.
I think that's the case with me also, because I do believe that there's, you know, some level of formality
Yeah,
between
yeah.
us and our parents' generation. But I think the generation Z, I don't feel that this same thing going on with us and with them, because things are changing, and you know,
Exactly.
as you mentioned, you know, yesterday that, you know, we used to get a lot of beatings and chappals. So I don't imagine we can do the same thing to our
Did
kids.
you get that? Did you get
course,
that really?
of course,
And,
of
do you-
course.
and don't you think that, you know, that it was the best part of growing up as well?
Yes,
Because I
yes.
believe that all of those chappals and chapede I got from my parents, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, obviously my mom, ladies and gentlemen, was the one who wouldn't really never
Right.
let a day go, just day go by, just because of the fact that, you know, she would think that, hey, you know what, obviously he needs a beating. So, you know, I would, every single day I was getting a beating, and I think that those were the prayers we got from our parents, hence
Right.
we are here as
and
well.
also it was very funny, you know, for the person who was looking, you know, because the siblings were getting the beating, but the one who were getting the
Yeah,
thrashing,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it was
And I think
altogether
I
different.
actually used to run outside the room even if somebody else was getting beaten. I was like, "Ab mera number aayega."
Right.
Mujhe lag raha hai. So I would do that. I would
That's true.
somewhere go to the roof, and then I would hide myself.
Right.
And then my mother wouldn't bother coming upstairs as well. So I was like, okay, you know, I think that's my safe place.
Right.
But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it's Eid. And, you know, talking about Eid, I think I've even got a beating on Eid as well. But very quickly, let's introduce our wonderful guests who are
Right,
here to spend
right.
the third day of Eid with us, ladies and gentlemen. First up, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be a psychologist, but that's not what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. She
Right.
happens to be Dr. Aiza Yazdani. Hello, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and Eid Mubarak.
Thank you, and Eid Mubarak. And it's a great change not to talk about something related to psychology.
I think it's wonderful, but you know, certainly the things we will be talking about, I don't know whether you're going to like it or not. But we'll you know, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see.
Right.
Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we've actually been joined by somebody, you know, so everybody comes from a very different walk of life, but today it's all going to be about Eid as well. We're very lucky that we've been joined by somebody who happens to be a visual artist. He happens to be a CEO for an institute named as Nifty Sphere. He is Mr. Usman Shah. Hello, assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Walaikum assalam, Eid Mubarak to you, sir. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. And you know, while looking at you, I just remember that, you know, on the first and the second day of Eid, we would wear shalwar kameez, and on the third day, I would request my parents, please, mujhe jeans or t-shirt le de. You know, so I think that's great, you know. What happened to your Eid, bro? Why aren't you wearing a shalwar kameez?
You know, unfortunately, what I can say, just mom just given me 2 dresses.
All right.
And the one dress is unfortunately somebody just stole me.
All right.
Yeah, that's.
All right, you know, so ladies and gentlemen, imagine, so, you know, obviously he's married, and, you know, he was my university junior as well. So he's talking about his mother preparing his clothes. I think that raises quite a lot of question marks as
You
well.
know, that's a very beautiful, happiest moment for me, especially for Eid. Whenever I just take off and, you know, Eid, so I just take off and just go back to my hometown
Yep.
and meet my mother and parents, a happiest moment for me. And she designed 2-3 dresses for me. That's a
MashaAllah.
remembering and missing moment for me.
Wow, that's wonderful. I mean, and you know, if you miss her too much, you can actually invite her to your place as well. I think that'll be wonderful. All right, but last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the cultural ambassador for US Embassy. She happens to be Miss Narmeen Iftikhar. Hello, assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak.
Walaikum salam, and Eid Mubarak to you as well. Thank you so much for this energy.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for kind of giving this energy back as well. And it's likewise, and that's how it works. You know, if the people right in front of us do not have the same energy, we cannot certainly carry the same energy as well. So without any further ado, let's delve ourselves into the conversation of what happened in the first 2 days of Eid. Hello, Dr. Aiza, how are you? What did you do?
Well, I didn't do much because I go to my in-laws,
Yeah.
and so I still get treated as a guest, and so I just like relax.
Wonderful.
And they're really very loving, so they don't. let me do any cooking or any stuff, so I can just chill out and just meet everyone
I think
and
that's
give
wonderful.
away these.
You're living the best life then.
That's a
Yes,
much needed
Alhamdulillah.
retreat too, right? Especially for the working women who are working on.
Exactly. And Ramzan has been so hectic, getting up
Right.
at Saris and all of that works, one really needs a break. So, but
Exactly.
back here for the show.
And I'm sorry that I'm going to bring this up, but you know, imagine, I think that you are going to be amongst the few lucky women who really do not have to do anything when they go to their in-laws. Yeah, isko dekho, aake baith jati hai, main rani ban gayi. You know, something like that. I'm sorry for being that sass today, but yes, I think that's the real essence of Eid. You know, you can kind of get away with any and everything as well. So was it like this ever since, or
Ever since.
Wow.
They have been absolutely amazing.
100 plus marks today, if they're watching?
And do you think you need to put your energy into it to make such kind of relationship?
Well, you do have to. You have to put a lot of energy in
Right,
it.
right.
But then it works both ways, and I think like when you have in-laws who are mature
Right.
and who are they know their place, so
Right.
they never really get into your place and try to
Give you
dominate you.
space,
So
right.
that's the best part of
And
it.
that's wonderful. And you know, it just came up to my mind as well. And I remember that one of your son was actually studying outside Pakistan, right? Is he back for Eid?
No, he's not back. In fact, my second son has gone abroad, and
Okay.
one has come back, so
Yep.
2 are abroad. And you know, this year, Shahzad, I made a vow to myself that I've been, you know, the boys have been abroad, and we have been going back to our parents. Like my husband misses his family very much. His mother prepares the clothes. You know, that's been such a part of our lives.
Right.
But next year, inshallah, I hope to be with my sons, because we must not leave our children alone wherever they are.
True. And you should actually, you know, and you know, that's a very amazing pledge you're making to yourself. You and your husband really needs to travel, may it be Eid, because otherwise, you know, without kids, I don't think that Eid is actually Eid.
I miss them. I'm the mother, so I really miss them. So my husband, he becomes the son, so he's having a whale of a
I think that's wonderful. What about you, Usman?
Alhamdulillah, it's very going good. So you know that it's a very hectic routine during my institute. So I have to teach from morning to night. So unfortunately, I get time on Eid, so I'm just playing a PS4
Yeah.
from morning to evening, and to just meet with the different family members, chachu, chachi, mami,
Yeah.
right? So these all stuff. So that's all about.
You know, with chachus and uncles and mummies, you know, I've always had a very different affair where I actually had to kind of steal money from them because they wouldn't really carry big hearts, you know, so they were always misers. Unfortunately, Ikram Chachu, if you're listening, you know, this is for you, because every time would go ask for Eidi, putter denge na,
Yes.
denge. And then, you know, next year you're again there and asking for Eidi. So I actually literally had to put my hand into his pocket or something of that sort. So do you
So
have
in my,
such chachus
yes,
and
yes,
chachis?
yes. In
Wow,
my
mashallah.
family, I'm the only one to just stand up and just take a to take a ED from everyone. Chachu, just give me. On my pollings, you can say I have to get a 5,000, 10,000, not a 1,000. So that's my range.
Wow,
So
wow,
I
wow.
have to set my range
Oh.
to every in front of my family member. That's it.
Really? So you are the one who's actually getting paid on Eid day as well, right? And how much do you give back? You know, that's the question which I believe is very important.
Yes.
So how much do you give back? Do you give back 500 rupees or 1,000? Or are there other people who kind of,
Maybe 250 rupees.
that's it?
Yes.
Wow, that's wonderful, yeah. So, you know, you get Eid first and then you give Eid. So
Exactly.
you're one of those people who certainly do not have to kind of make sure that he's got ample money
Right.
to himself, which obviously you will be spending on Eid day.
You know, there are many bhatijas as well, so I have to give them 250 and 300 rupees to everyone.
Balance
250
out
and
in
300, wow.
pocket.
So, you know,
Right.
on the contrary, you're asking for 5,000, 10,000, and when it comes down to your bhatijas, you must be like, yaar, bahut galat kaam karenge, zyada paise dunga.
I think that's how, you know, you keep your reserves. I mean, balance, no. Otherwise, you're a complete broke, especially,
Yeah,
you know.
and that's something which I don't like, you know, where it's just like an equilibrium. You know, you give 500 rupees and they give 500 rupees, and you're like, okay, you know, where do we stand? We stand
Right.
where we were earlier as well, right?
Right.
What about you, Narmeen? How has your Eid been?
Yeah, it's been great. Usually my Eid is not really happening. We don't do anything except for sleeping. But this year this was different. My sister, she recently got married, and
Mashallah.
I felt that I was missing her.
Yeah, wow.
That is some sort of realization. And then I was really excited that she was coming at our place, and my mama made some really amazing food. So it was kind of really eventful. and I really enjoyed the entire gathering, people
Right.
coming out to
Mashallah.
our places and we going out to there. So I really loved it, and the best part was that I was getting a lot of Eid from her in-laws as well. So
Wow.
it was a double treat.
I think, and on this point, at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, just remember that, whenever I used to go to my sisters-in-laws, they would never give me Eid. They were like, Eid is only for
Okay,
women.
Shahzad, you don't need
That
to,
Eid is only for
open
women.
out
I was
every
like, yeah,
secret
but-
of your
I would
family on the
endorse
show.
that. I would endorse that because I have a lot, when I was growing up, all my cousins, I was the youngest
Yeah.
and the only female. So all my cousins were much older. So my khala would say, Eid only for girls.
And because there was only one girl, so they would save so much money to themselves as well. Wow. And I was like, Uncle, okay, really? Because initially what used to happen was when I was like 10 years or 11 years old, I would actually stick to mom and dad because wherever they'll go, I knew I'll get Eid. So I would kind of collect it so that I can
Smart
buy a
strategy,
remote control
right.
car or something of that sort as well. But if you don't mind me asking, how old is your sister? Is she 2 years older than you, or 3 years, or 1 year?
She's 5 years older.
She's 5 years older
right.
than. So
And-
then it might be very different cases because of the fact that my two younger daughters, there's only 1 year difference and they almost fight on almost everything. So
They're
if,
younger. I mean, we were
I mean,
like
they
a
are
like-
obviously younger, but they almost fight on everything. So whatever you get to the one person, even the other person actually wants it. So even if she
Right.
has something nicer in her hand, she will throw it down and she'll be like, okay, I want
I
that
think
one.
me and my brother were like that when we were young, and especially we used to fight a lot on the stationery, on the glitter pens, and that was I think the best treasure that we had when we were growing up. So okay, Narmeen, I wanted to ask you, since you're a cultural ambassador and you have been to US, right? So how did that change your personality? Because I do feel that traveling and going abroad, gives you a broader perspective in that sense.
Yeah, this is such a great question, and of course, meeting people from different cultures,
Right.
interacting with people who speak different languages and they are from different backgrounds. It was a lot of learning. You get to know that it's beautiful to have the diverse cultures
Right.
around you. You get a chance to learn from them, and you also make them teach about your culture. Okay, I'm from Pakistan.
Right.
We did this. We have this kind of food. So it was more of an exchange. We were exchanging our thoughts, our opinions, and we were like open to different opinions. That was
Right.
the very beautiful part.
Right.
That nobody was getting offended by any opinion. So
So there was this conversation where, somebody could have taken an offense, right?
yeah, well,
Okay, I'll tell you what, Shehzad. So one of my friend, she went to US on an exchange program,
Yeah.
and I could relate to that. And she said that there's this culture that if you go, and she was in the Florida, maybe that's a subculture there. And she said that I went to a shop there, and the shopkeeper started having a little bit conversation with me, and so, oh, this is nice shirt. Where did you? And she said, I find it so odd. Why is he having conversation with me? And she said, यार मैं तो सड़ी हुई बच्ची पाकिस्तान से गई हुई और कहती है कि दुकानदार क्यों मेरे साथ फ्री हो रहा है ना? कहती है then I came to know that it's their culture that you need to have a little gupshup with them,
that's
right?
it. And everybody would smile at you.
Right.
And initially, I was like, why he's
Right.
smiling
We
at
would take
me?
offended that what is happening?
And that's something I would certainly want to talk about as well, because I've been saying that, every time I'm going anywhere,
Right.
I'm saying Assalamu alaikum ji,
Right,
Assalamu
right.
alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. So most of the time, men would always reply,
Yeah.
but women would never reply.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with their heads. So the same woman going to US or UK would actually reply to anything anybody would say,
Yeah.
because they already are gelling in as well. But since it's Eid, ladies and gentlemen, I think everybody can get away with everything. So we are actually going to play a small game. Do you guys think that you guys can actually guess the riddles we brought for you guys today? Do you think? All right, but you guys don't have any choice. You will still have to participate. All right, so let's see. Okay, so this one's for you. What has to be broken before you can use it? It's a simple one though.
Egg.
Egg, yes, you nailed it. Okay, I am tall when I'm young and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? I am tall when I'm young, I'm short when I'm old. What am I?
It's difficult, but I'm trying to think of.
Guess. You only have 5 seconds. You use it जब light चली जाती है.
No hints.
Okay, no hints. No hints. Dr. Aisa Abid today, ladies and
you.
gentlemen, is really competitive. All right. Naeem?
No.
All right, so it's a candle. Moving on to you, Narmeen. What month of the year has 28 days? You know it, right?
February.
No, every month. Okay, what can you break even if you never pick it up or touch it? That's a simple one.
What can
That's a
you
very
break?
simple one.
What you can, sorry,
What can you break even if you never pick it up or touch it?
water?
No. How can you break water?
I don't know.
I mean, when
I
you
really need a
when you
hint.
commit
Please
with
help me.
someone, when you commit with someone.
Promise.
Yes, you know, so hints over here. You know, when it came down to Dr. Sahiba, ladies and gentlemen, she never actually raised or probably was against it. That I was giving her hints as well. Wonderful. All right, moving on to you. I
Yeah,
shave
now-
every day, but my beard stays the same. What am I?
Little, I'm sorry, I'm very weak in these games.
It's
No,
okay.
it's
okay.
not about being
Think
weak.
about it.
It's about thinking from your brain, which Allah has blessed you
Can
with.
you repeat it again?
Yes, I shave every day, but my beard stays the same. What am I? Barber. Moving on.
Barber.
All right, I have branches, but no fruit, trunk, or leaves. What am I? I have branches, but no fruit, trunk, or leaves. What am I?
A bank.
Yes, it's a
Oh,
bag. I think she
smart
knew
one.
it already. Did you knew it already? Yes, she did. All right, one last. What has many keys but can't open a single lock?
Monkey?
And you play it.
Piano?
Yes, it's a piano. What has hands but can't clap?
One is and
And can't clap.
That's a
And
simple.
you're wearing one as well.
And
Watch.
I can see it.
Watch, yes, thank you very much for one correct answer. What has legs but doesn't walk?
Sorry.
What has legs but doesn't walk? It's right in front of you as of now. Drum rolls. A table. Wow, so you guys did play wonderfully well. Dr. Aiza Abid, you won yourself a big round of applause. Thank you very much for being so kind and being so intelligent at the
Right.
same time. But now coming to the point where I wanted to ask you that, you know, as kids, obviously we certainly had very different Eid and the very different atmosphere and the ambience was very different. Grandparents were alive.
Right.
You would go to your ancestors' place. How do you think Eid has transitioned with our age? You know, so growing up, do you think Eid has changed a lot? Is it more fun now, or was it more fun when you were a kid?
I think Eid has, with the pandemic, of course, a lot of things have changed,
Right.
first of all. And secondly, you have many more options now. I see people opting to go on vacations
True.
on Eid.
Right.
Like if you have lost your parents and if you don't have your family, then what do you do at home? So unless you have a very strong friend system and you are you know, mingling with your friends and arranging some get-togethers. So I see a lot of people, some of our friends, they just go out of city. And you can see the craze on the hills, you know,
Right,
whether it's
northern
Neelam
hills.
Valley or whether it's the other way.
Right.
So people want to get away, they really want to get away. So Eid is changing, and hopefully not too much, because it's such a beautiful cultural part of it, or the, you know, the mehendi. I haven't put it, I don't do it actually, but the mehendi and the giving of the
Right.
gifts, that's such a beautiful aspect.
It is, and I think it should actually continue the rest of,
Right.
for the rest of the year as well. And you know, I believe in gifts. And you know, I have a friend. His name is Jazib Kamar. He's a wonderful designer from Karachi, and he would always send me kurtas to wear on Choti Eid and Badi Eid as well. And I just love it. And you know, so you kind of really need to respond the same way. So I hope that people kind of believe in it as well. Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to love it as well. What about you, Usman? Do you think that growing up Eid is the same, or do you think it was better when you were a kid?
yeah, I can say there are different changes. You know, when I was kid, so you have to just eat, you just have to play games and these all stuff. But now at this age, so there are many zumedariyan,
Yeah.
you know.
Right,
So
right.
my mom just give me a call, you know, before coming to home, so you have to give Eid to your elder sister, you have to give Eid to your younger sister, and you have to bring some gifts for mother, father, and some neighbors, so these all stuff.
Yeah.
So with the passage of time, so at the age of 32, I can see, so there are many responsibilities I have to achieve it and I have to give them.
Ramneet, that's wonderful,
Right.
but why is it that, you know, in your conversation, you're not mentioning about in-laws, your wife, you know, your zimmedari? Because when we talk about responsibilities over in Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as we graduate, as soon as we start to work, you know, parents are like, ladka haath se nikal gaya, shaadi kara do. And you know, all of a sudden, you know that ladka ek haath se nikal ke dusre haath mein chala gaya.
So what I can say, that's another chapter. So if you're gonna discuss
Yeah.
to me, so that's another. So definitely.
And there's a reason why I'm discussing this. So no matter what happens, no matter how cordial of a relationship you have, or you know the kind of energy you guys share, I think somewhat around Chandraj, you know, there's this vibration which will cause an argument. You know, I don't know what that vibration is. So any bigger event, I don't know what happens, you know, all of a sudden the argument just starts. I think it's a lot of expectation people have from each other probably. And, you know, I never wanted to kind of bring in Dr. Aiza Abid on this one as well, but I think she can certainly make sense when we ask about this. So, you know, why does that happen? Is, you know, whenever it's someone's birthday, whenever it's Eid, whenever it's a bigger occasion of the family, you know, the couples are going to start to argue. And maybe my mom or dad, maybe anybody, you know, there will be an argument.
Very simple.
What?
Why can't men read minds?
Because we can. Because we can.
Because you see, women don't like to say it out loud, okay?
Yeah.
And men are supposed to understand.
Listen to it.
No, they're supposed to understand that, okay, this is an occasion for being extra nice or giving gifts or making it special.
Yeah.
So rather than, you know, the ladies have been working all along. And Eid day is also no rest and everything. So Ramzan they have been working. So how do you make it special?
How do we make it special?
Well, give gifts.
Obviously, we are supposed
and lots of praise.
you know, but okay, you know, now understand from our front. So what happens is that obviously when you have kids and you have a family to look after, you're obviously you're making sure that they wear those nicer clothes and shoes and whatever they want. So even after that, if they are expecting a gift, it's like a little difficult for us to kind of be like, yaar, abhi to itni shopping karayi thi, you know, ab main tohfa bhi do.
Okay, I'll tell you a little secret. But first, I was listening to FM the other day, and there was this a man. He was, I think, abroad probably, and talking back here, and he said that I have sent money to my mother for everybody, and for my wife to get clothes and everything. But my wife has sent me a message that okay, everything is okay, but please, before you come home for Eid, select a suit for me and bring it.
Yeah.
Now you see, why did she ask that?
Why?
Because the effort that a person takes and goes out, and it may, and the secret I'm going to tell you now, you know, women don't want too much. They don't want diamonds, and not all the time. so you can actually get away with a symbolic thing like a bunch of one flower. You don't have to take a bouquet. You can. So these are the little reminders that you give, and just a little hug and a special smile that you mean so much to me. You make my and that.
नहीं आप तो झूठ बोल रहे you know you do not mean a word. And yeah, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what actually keeps your life going on as well. I think, and I believe in it as well. But very quickly, you know, since you mentioned a very important point, and that was that women do not want to say it out loud, and men want to listen it. You know, if there's something, you know, if my wife wants something, you know, she really needs to say it to me. Okay, yeah, you know, this is something which I want to do. So if she wants me to understand it, you know, from out of the blue, I certainly cannot do that. Probably that's not what my personality is. And even if at times we try to kind of figure it out, you know, we do not figure it out very correctly. So we certainly need help. And, you know, if you are the sort where you want people to kind of tell you whatever you want, I think that's better, no?
I think generally we raise girls, and Nurmeen can tell me, girls are taught to be not demanding.
Really?
Muh phad ke mangna nahi, you know, that's how they are told, so they never demand things from their husband. I told my husband this time, I said, you know, there's an ad going around in Islamabad, Soni ki churiyan.
Yeah.
So I said, I never asked you for anything. So I don't know, I doubt I'll get it. But the fact is, you know, we find it, does your wife ask you for things? We can't come outright and ask. We are not raised that way, actually.
Thank you very much for saying that. Yeah, Nirmeen, would you want to second that, what Dr. Aiza just said?
I don't have a husband.
But would you want to second that, you know, that women are actually raised the way that they're not very outspoken and they would keep their feelings inside them and emotions and whatever they need?
Yeah, that's correct, sort of.
Because even with your father, you know, you might not even go out of the way and be like, Abu, bas ye aaj mujhe chahiye hi chahiye.
No, I'm not like talking about myself. I'm not like this who would demand and who would ask for stuff. So I can totally second to what she has mentioned, because Yeah, I have like, I really want to, you know, make some demands now.
That's wonderful. Usman, what about you? You know, because we need another perspective. So when it's
To back you up.
no, when it's you and your wife. So how does it work? So do you have to kind of judge whether what she needs or she will always say to
You
you?
know, the sometimes expressions would matter.
Really?
Yeah.
खामोशी से पता चल जाता है.
Sometimes the expression would matter. If you see the, if you can see deeply on her wife, right?
Yeah.
She's just demanding, or she's some wishing something, whatever. So the husband have to understand and just give her back.
Exactly. Wow, that's a wonderful husband over here.
And you know, Shehzad, I'll just add a little bit for this. You know what we say, the rituals? Now the rituals are very important, the birthdays and the Eid. It's not like just giving money, go buy yourself clothes, okay?
Yeah,
It's
right.
like the little, let's go together, let's do this. And then there's the communication which builds up.
Right, right.
So then you know that your wife likes this, so maybe you, or your sister likes this. Let's not just take a deal with the wife. And then so beforehand, you know, you put together some things. So I got some bangles and Eid, the mehndi thing for my friends this time.
Wow.
And it's not very costly, and
Right.
it's just a gesture which goes so far along.
Exactly, and I love the idea, and it's because of the fact that, you know, even when you receive a gift and you're at the receiving end, you know, it just kind of surprises me that, hey, you know, somebody actually thought about me, took out time, went to
Right.
the market, you know, kind of shopped something. So it made me even a mineral water bottle, ladies and gentlemen. It actually takes a thought to kind of bring it for you as well. At this moment, we're actually heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back, and we have another game to play. Let's see which one is this. Eid Mubarak.
Welcome back, and we were having a very, you know, lovely and nice, fun-filled conversation with our guest and with Shehzad, and, you know, with misperceptions, with perceptions, with communications and miscommunications. And now we are heading towards a very lovely game, okay? So, Shehzad, I would like to start it with you.
Yeah.
Never have I ever re-gifted a gift to someone.
Everybody needs to kind of answer. ठीक है? So
Right.
never have I ever.
Re-gifted a gift to someone.
No, I haven't. Because I'm not that lucky that I get a lot of gifts. Yes.
Okay, yes. Can you
Yes.
tell us which gift it was? And why did
And who did you give it to, and who gifted it to you?
Well, we do it all the time. Where do I start and where do I end?
So is it clothes most of the time?
Generally,
Generally?
clothes and whatever it is.
So is it usually that, you know, that a gift you got, you didn't like it quite a lot, and you were like, okay, yaar, kisi, you know, let's give it to somebody else.
Sometimes when I have to give a gift and I don't have anything, that's when I do it.
Yes,
but generally I have a whole stock of
right.
gifts.
Wow.
It
So why is it that you have never brought a gift for us? You have a whole stock of gifts.
You never asked me.
All right, you know, probably next time if it's Eid. What about
Right.
you?
I did, because it
Yeah, it's a
doesn't.
yes for her as well.
Yes,
she
it is
did
a
the
yes.
same.
It doesn't generally have to do with the, you know, dislikingness of the gift. It has to do with, you know, you keep the stock, and, you know, sometimes you in short supply of the stock, you know, when suddenly a guest turns up or shows up, and then you have to give it to them.
So usually, what gifts are those?
Usually they are perfumes or clothes and stuff like
Wow,
that.
I mean, I can always ask for a gift from Haji Sati Saiba as well. Wow, that's
Okay.
wonderful.
Okay.
Moving on.
Never have I ever been awake for 48 hours or more straight.
I have been.
I think yes.
So
Yes.
yes. So there are three yeses, ladies and gentlemen, over in the studios. For me, it was while I was traveling and working. So I was on a tour. I was
Right,
doing
right.
outdoor shows, and towards the end of the 48 hours, I was like, hey, you know what? I think it's difficult because I had to go to another show. But
Right.
Alhamdulillah, I was able to do it, and I felt very happy about it.
Right,
What about
right.
you?
So I woke up for my exams, my FSC exams, and I was very nervous about them, and I couldn't, complete my syllabus. So that's why I woke up for 48 hours.
Wow. What about you?
Right.
The time was a flight supervisor in 2015.
Okay.
All right, so it's most probably not 48. It's about the 3 days.
3 days.
Because the one flight was delayed, so that's why we have to stand over there. We have to manage people. We have
Yeah.
to arrange some all seats and
Food
all
and
other stuff,
whatnot.
food and these all stuff.
All right, well, that's wonderful. So, we've got a lot of hardworking people over in the studios. I mean, if you get time, you really need to sleep. Please make sure that you do not sleep on purpose. Yes,
Right.
moving on.
Right. So never have I ever lied to get out of plans with friends.
I am. It's just probably because of work. No? No? Yeah, yes.
yes,
That's a
it's
yes,
true.
that's a yes. That's a yes. How come you did that? How come you did that? And when was it?
I don't know,
Any
sometimes-
last experiences?
Sometimes when it's totally unavoidable, so one has to there's some commitment or something
Right.
at home which
You have to
can't-
bring something up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
bada
especially
masla.
when you are working, so you usually have to ditch the plans because you're so tired and you really want rest and sleep.
Exactly,
That's
and
when-
it happens to me a lot of
Right.
times because I have a very
Hectic.
huge social circle as well.
Right.
And what happens is that people do not understand that you really have to be up at 6 to be on a morning show, ladies and gentlemen. And what happens is, so I would be like, you know what, I'm going to go back home, think about it, and I will let you know whether I'll be able to make it or not.
Right.
That's the best answer.
Right.
So if you've never had the best answer, ladies and gentlemen, this is the best answer. Always be like, let me go back home, check
Right.
whether I can make it or not, and then I'll get back. And then never get back, okay? So moving on.
Right. So never have I ever worked with someone I couldn't stand.
I have. Everybody here, all right. So are you going to name that? No, don't name, but share the kind of personality it was.
Well, I can only think of my domestic help
Okay.
that I really can't stand them, and I have to because then I need them.
Because then you obviously need to be on your feet yourself as well. Be like, yaar, ye dekh lo na. What are you guys doing? What about you?
Exactly the same time when I was at airport. I don't want to mention his name.
Yeah, obviously.
All right, but the person used to say every time, "Hey man, you just go outside. Hey man, you just go outside." I don't know what exactly. Do you have any problem, man? Whenever I sit on the business counter, whenever I sit on the customer side, so he said, "No, you just go outside, just stand on the corner, just to bring trolleys to
Why
focus."
didn't you ask him whether he likes your
I
face
just
or not?
asked him many times.
All right. What did he say?
He said, "I don't like your name." What exactly?
He doesn't like your name?
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, that's bad. All right. What about you?
Yeah, so I work with a person and he's always like, he never answers to my calls and he would never respond me and he would never set up a catch up so that we can discuss it. He would never welcome my ideas.
Yeah.
He's more like dominating and throwing his ideas, and though I'm his colleague, he would take me as his subordinate, so I cannot
Yeah.
stand.
That's a real issue in workplace environment as well, and quite a lot of people do it. So
Right.
they try to be up here,
Yeah.
Right.
while mentally they're down here. As well.
Right.
उनकी सोच उठानी पड़ती है नीचे से कि ये भाई ये रख लो.
Right.
What about you?
I think last time it was when I was working in a university project. So I kind of group with the people I didn't know that had that much capabilities, and they were plagiarizing a lot of stuff, and that affected my grades. So that was the story.
All right, and with me, ladies and gentlemen, I think most of the time, I've been in a situation where a lot of people have said a lot of stuff about me, and all of a sudden on a live show, they're sitting right next to me. So I'm like, okay, probably I think this is it, and it's not that I won't stand it. I'll be like, okay, I think it's going to be a fun journey. So I've always loved it.
Right,
Working
right.
with people I don't stand, I think gives me a lot of patience and
Right.
teaches a lot of stuff as well. So very quickly, one last.
Okay. Never have I ever lied to my parents.
I have. I'm sorry.
I think everyone has.
Everybody. All right, so we'll start from you.
Okay, there's so many times I don't even remember that, whenever I lie. But like, every time I lie, I always get caught up because I think my father understands it. शक्ल पे झूठ लिखा
Yeah,
है।
yeah, and I think that's true as well. When I look at my daughters and if she's saying something and if that's a lie, she starts to smile. And I'm like, And all I need to do is just look like this. And she's like, "Maine kya kiya hai?" So I was like, that's it.
I lie, and then you have to back it up with more lies,
lies.
right? You have to build up the story, and that's where I'm weak. I couldn't build up more stories, very spontaneously.
And that's the reason why I actually do not lie at all, and it's because of the fact that I cannot remember what I've lied earlier about. What about you, Dr. Aiza?
Okay,
What
well,
did you
I
lie
was a
about?
little difficult child in the sense I was the only daughter. And when I was very small, I wanted, we had to go out somewhere, and I would say, I don't want to go out. And they would say, no, come on, go. I said, I wanted to go out, and I wanted them to ask me a million times. But I would say, I don't want to go. So that would create
What
like,
about you?
Yes, it's a reality. Yes, we lied many times with the parents. Not but this age, but especially at the time of university.
Okay.
Yeah, at the time of university, the father and mother said
Which
no.
you would indulge in stuff which the parents wouldn't like, right?
Not like that. Maybe we can say my mother and father said no, you don't want to go any trip and like that, because I love to travel and I love to adventurous activities. In my university, I was a president as well, to just go hiking and roof topping, these all stuff.
Wow.
And every time my parents
So they wanted you to be safe.
refused. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. What about you, Narmeen? And mind that your mother is actually sitting right next to us as well.
Yeah, that I'm scared of. But but I really don't have a lot of lies, but I have spoken some, and
माँ जी सुन लें, ये झूठ बोलती रही आपको.
these are not some like really like a lie. These are like
Yeah,
some
it's
of
all
these
right.
facts.
We know what a lie means. It's all right. Yeah, please go ahead. What did you lie about?
Yeah, I really cannot think of any specific one. It's more like restating those things in a manner which wouldn't be very
That's not a
offensive.
complete truth, but
Yeah,
So,
that's
the
an
next
approach.
question is, are you guys even lying right now? I think then we need to say yes. But it's all right. Obviously, we're going to give you that space because your parents are over here in the studios with us as well. माँ जी लेकिन ध्यान से झूठ बोलती है आजकल. All right, well, thank you very much, each and every one of you, for taking our time, and that too on the third day of Eid. We're very thankful in the first place, and we kind of need to congratulate you for being over here on the show, because that's what people look forward to, being on our show on Eid. So thank you very much, and Eid Mubarak, everybody, once again. And Hajar, do you want to say something?
okay, so I do believe that, Eid gives us a time to think of celebrations, of the murmur, then the prayers for the deceased one. And I hope that this Eid, gives you a new meaning of life, and especially the life which we choose to live on. And with this on, I think we are bidding you goodbye. And until
Yes.
next time, Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak, yes, and very quickly, I would want to say a few words as well. And ladies and gentlemen, while we were in conversation, obviously, all of these people who actually come to our show, they've been like family. I've been here for the last 10 years, and you can see the joy we have together. You can see the power of being together, where we are so relaxed. We sit back and we talk about stuff which makes us nostalgic, which makes us think about how good life is. So that's what you're supposed to do. Please make sure if there are people in your life who might be a little distant from you, why don't you make an effort, go ahead and go hug them, and make sure that you have the same fun we are having today and every single day as well. So till the next time, all of us are actually going to say Eid Mubarak. So I'll say 1, 2, 3 and we say Eid Mubarak, okay? Or a very happy Eid Mubarak, okay? 1, 2, 3. A very happy Eid Mubarak! Thank you.